Olivier Guita is Managing Director at Global Strat, which is a security and political risk firm for governments and companies, and a specialist on the Middle East and Egypt. And when I spoke to him earlier, I asked him what he understood to have happened.
Look, a couple of things. This is really the nightmare scenario that French security services hoped never to have to face. Simultaneous attacks in three parts of a city with hostage-taking. This is very much so looking like the Mumbai attack, which I thought was going to be the modus operandi of terrorists around the world, really because of the fact that they could keep with the hostage-taking and different attacks, the media exposure and the pressure on one country. That's number one. The second issue that makes me think it's Islamic State behind this attack is the fact that just a few weeks back, they had specifically asked their followers to attack concert halls in France. So, as you know, Le Bataclan is one of the largest concert hall in Paris, and that's where allegedly 100 people have been held hostage. And also, it's very symbolical that you have an attack near the largest football stadium in Paris, where the president is there. That sends a strong message that nobody is safe, and that even the president, they can go after him. Last but not least, when it comes to this modus operandi, there's still sketchy reports that the two explosions near the Stade de France, near the football stadium, were basically two suicide bombers. If that's the case, that would be a first in France's history. So all this points really to an Islamic State attack. I would tend to really dismiss some of the pundits that have said, look, it might be because there was a strike on jihadi John Mohammed and Mwazi today, or overnight rather, that we had this attack. This attack is not something that could be done on a whim, within just a few hours. This must have taken at least a few weeks and most probably a few months to coordinate something like this.
When you say that there were reports of Islamic State encouraging their followers to attack specifically theatres in France, has the level of security heightened since then in Paris? Were these venues under security guard or what?
No, because unfortunately you have to remember that since the attacks in January, the French are at the highest terror alert possible, and also for the first time since a lot of years, French army has been deployed in major cities to protect sensitive sites. And what I'm talking about is 10,000 soldiers that have been working day in and day out since January, patrolling the streets of Paris. So I don't know specifically what they've done with concert halls, but there's so much they can do with the little means that they have. And remember, if you protect one concert hall that hosts 20,000 people, then how much can you do on other sites? And that's one of the key points that your audience should understand as well when it comes to the UK, is that security services in the West have been so overstretched, so overworked, and don't have enough means to follow all the leads that they have. And unfortunately, they have to guess. They have to just pick and choose the ones that they think the potential suspects that could act on a whim. And that's the problem that we have at this point, is how much of a threat we are facing. And, you talk about numbers between 3,000 and 5,000 potential terrorists in both the UK and France. This is massive. So you can imagine if there were 8 gunmen today, the amount of damage they've done to Paris. Imagine how much more could be coming our way if we're not able to foil plots.
Olivier Guitta there, who's the Managing Director at Global Strat, a security and political risk firm for governments and